Hi, nobodies. So, like yesterday, I don't think I made a post about how manic I was. Like that double dose of antidepressant was like really fucking with me. It was like a squirrel on crack, or it was like I was drunk, but I was completely like straight and sober. But I like cuckoo called people. That's the best I could come up with is cuckoo call because it's like drunk dialing, except or drunk texting, except you're sending messages and writing emails. Fun. Yeah, until the next day, and then you're like, well, I think I was kind of crazy when I was writing all that, and so you're like talking to people and going, hey, what I said yesterday, if I offended you or pride, please take no offense because, like, see, me, I'm naturally curious. I want to know things, and that leads to me asking questions that I maybe shouldn't ask, and also I've got this whole thing about like the stuff that happened to me when I was a kid, anything bad that happens to me or anything bad that I did, it's there's no emotions connected to it. It's all just facts. You know, this happened, that happened, it's just a fact. So I don't think about how like if I did something, would I feel comfortable talking about it? I know I would feel comfortable talking about it because it's not like I've got any kind of emotion attached to any of it. Um, because there's just facts. Um, so, it's like, and it's always when you meet new people, it's like you kind of want to come with. I kind of need to come with a handbook that says if I say anything offensive, know that I don't mean to be offensive. Don't, I am not, if I am mad at you and I want to show that I am pissed at you, I'm going to be pretty straight up about it. I'll be like, hey, bitch, listen here. I'm going to be pretty straight up about it. It's not going to be some veiled thing. Now, I will admit that sometimes when in conversation with others and there is a person I don't like, I might have a conversation with them and I might throw words in there that I know that they don't mean that I know they don't know what those words mean, and those words sound like cool, so they just kind of, yeah, you're totally right about that, and I'm sitting there thinking you don't even know what I just said to you. You like, like I'll get a little giggle out of that. I told my husband, I was like, he was talking about how if you voted for Trump, you're a racist, even if it's by proxy. And I was like, man, that is black and white thinking. And you cannot think like that with people. If they piss you off, if you feel like, oh, you are just a dumb son of a bitch, well, all you've really got, you don't even have to address it. It's kind of like if you feel ugly, go find the ugliest person you can see, the person who you think is ugliest, because ugly and pretty, that is all like subjective. But go stand next to the person who you think is uglier than you, and you'll feel better about yourself. And they have no clue that you've just dissed them. You're like, hey, I'm gonna stand next to them so I'll be thinner, or so I'll be prettier, or I'll feel that way. And it's the same way with like when people are stupid. And really, isn't that what matters? And I'm not saying like Trumpers are stupid. I'm saying like anybody that's stupid, when somebody's talking about something that they know nothing about or they're coming from a place of ignorance, sometimes that's all you've got because you cannot enlighten some people. Some people are wrong and they're going to continue to be wrong no matter how much proof you can give them of how wrong they are, they're going to be wrong. So the best thing you can do is just sit there and judge them mentally. Like every dumb thing they say, goes into like a bank in my head. And then later on, it's like when I'm with somebody else, when I'm away from the situation, I'm like, did you hear what they said? Did you hear that dumb shit? I'm going to share it with somebody who would also recognize that it was dumb shit being said. And I say dumb shit. We all say dumb shit, and somebody is taking note of it. I've done a video about haters. The haters are definitely taking notice of it. But that's what I do with stupid people is I have a little giggle in my head because I'm like, oh my God, you are so stupid. And honestly, that's enough for me. I'm not the type who's going to tell somebody, I'm not going to look at somebody and go, okay, you are stupid. Let me pull up that information for you to show you just how stupid you are. Because, see, that would be very negative. And I don't like to be negative. I don't want to bring anybody down. If they're having a good time, if they're enjoying themselves, or even if they're having a bad time, I am not adding to that. I'll add to a good time, with I'm not going to be negative. If you're having a good time, I'm going to have a good time. One of the beautiful things about BPD is that your mood is affected by other people's moods. But I've also got like the programming aspect of you can think whatever you want. And you can say things, but always be polite. Always be nice. Always be positive, So I'm not going to tell somebody, I think you're stupid. Just like I wouldn't tell somebody, I think you're ugly. I think you're fat. I think you're this. I think you're that. Because those things don't friggin' matter. If somebody calls me fat, I'll say, yeah, I feel fat. And you've just made me feel fatter, but 139 pounds is not too bad for a 5'7" girl. I can go to Walmart and point out a good 50 people who are fatter than me. So even though they've brought me down, they ain't really told me anything I don't know or don't automatically think about myself. I mean, that is a NAT, a negative automatic thought, that I'm fat, I'm ugly, I'm worthless, I'm useless, all that stuff. I know I have those negative thoughts. I am not about to justify someone else's negative thoughts by telling them something bad. I'm just not going to do that. And people will say, oh, but I'm honest. You might be honest, but if I weighed 300 pounds, I don't need anybody telling me I'm fat. I would have to be completely delusional if I didn't recognize that I was. And if I'm walking around and feeling good about myself, even if I am delusional, let me have my little bit of happiness thinking I look good. Let that person have that. You do not have to tell them that they're ugly, that they're fat, that they're stupid. You don't have to tell somebody that. Those are things, I guess because I was raised, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. And it's funny that people are so rude about stuff, and I mean be openly rude, and yet people get butthurt over the tiniest things. And it's like, what the fuck? It's like you're gonna sit there and be mean and belittle this person, telling them something that they probably already know. And yet you're gonna get butthurt because somebody said something that was a little racist about somebody else. It's like, no. I mean, I'm not racist and I don't like racism, but you know what? If somebody's going to talk bad, I would rather hear them use racism than calling people names and being mean to people. If you're just spouting off bullshit, spout off your bullshit. Most people are just going to look at you and just think, he's fucking stupid. You know, I mean, black people are either going to be offended. Well, black people are going to be offended, and they're either going to walk away or they're going to kick your ass, depending on where you're standing and what you're saying. All you really got to do is say the N word, and it's over in a lot of places. It is over. Saying you're ugly, you're this and that, that just kills a person. I mean, people are used to, Muslims are used to racism. Black people are used to racism. They kind of expect it out of some people. Doesn't mean that they like it, doesn't make it right, doesn't make it okay. It's just that they kind of expect it because, I don't know about up north because I've never lived up there, but in the South, they expect it. When the Duck Dynasty guy, who's a Christian, he's in Louisiana, he's in camo, he's a hunter, he's total redneck, and people were flipping out because he had a problem with homosexuals. And I was sitting there thinking, every homosexual in the South knows that a guy like that is, well, they don't know it, but they will assume that a guy like that, a Bible thumping, camo wearing, duck hunting dude in the deep South, is going to be prejudiced against gay people. It's a given. Now, if they find out that that person is totally cool with it, then they're pleasantly surprised that, hey, this person isn't small-minded, but they kind of expect it, So, but you don't expect people to walk up to you and tell you all the ways you suck, unless you've got up in their face. But and I hate that when when you're out in public. I've never had this specifically happen to me. There have been times that I thought that it might be me, but I've never specifically known they're talking about me. But I remember reading a post that a girl had written. She had bought herself a new dress. She had done her hair, put on her makeup, had some cute little shoes on, and she was a big girl. And she felt good about herself that day. She was going to go out with her boyfriend, and she felt good. And then she heard, when they stopped at the gas station, she said, well, I'll go in and pay, honey. So she starts walking to go in and pay. And some boy said, SeaWorld must have closed because I see Shamu is free. And it's like, do you really have to say shit like that? I mean, that completely ruined that girl's day. Completely, because she ain't one of those people that would go after them and say, oh, Shamu's going to smother your ass when she sits on you. She wasn't that type of girl who would go after somebody like that. No, she's that type of girl who just immediately felt like she was the ugliest thing on the planet. And I don't understand why some people do that. Why some people feel the need to tear someone else down like that, even if they're not right in your face doing it. Just the fact that they say it. It's like, do you really have to say it? If you're sitting with your boys, can't you just say, can't you just not comment? Can't you just, even if you'd be like, hey dude, would you tap that? But be quiet about it, because, people have ears. And you may not be as quiet as you think you are. But at least, would you tap that? Hell no, man, I wouldn't tap that. She doesn't know you're talking about her. Especially if there's other girls around. But if she looks around and she sees nothing but skinny bitches, she knows you're talking about her as well. And that's if she's the type of girl that turns around and looks. See, I'm the type that I'm going to look around and see if maybe they could be talking about somebody else around me. Um, but some people don't. Some people hear people laughing and they assume they're laughing at me. I'm hideous. I look stupid. I dress funny, I walk funny, or my body's shaped weird, or you know, you 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 hear laughter and that bothers you. So a person doesn't even have to say anything. I mean it, but we really need to, like, if you're gonna say anything, it would have made such a big difference in her day if one of two things would happen. One, those guys wouldn't have said anything. Or if those guys would have said, "You look really pretty in that dress." Because it's not hard to tell when somebody is trying to look good. And you don't have to tell the truth. You don't have to talk to them. But I tell you what, if you've been the victim of people coming at you like that, with their slings and arrows, just chipping away at your self-esteem, and you've decided, like, what it's like to get dressed up and to feel okay. At least okay, if not even better than okay. Just to feel like you could be out in the world, and then somebody tears that away from you. If you felt that way and you see somebody who has issues, whether they're ugly or they limp or they're fat or whatever you see that might make them a target, take 2 seconds. Take 2 seconds and say, that is a really, even if you're just commenting on the dress, that is a beautiful dress. Where'd you get it? Because at least they know that the dress they're wearing is pretty. Because, I mean, would you say that's a beautiful dress if it was on, if it was on a body that it wasn't made for? Most likely not instinctually, but, just, or even, who does your hair? That's such a pretty color. I mean, just find something to compliment people on. We need more people complimenting other people. you know and it works out better, I think, when it's females complimenting females, because when males do it to females or females do it to males, there's that whole are they hitting on me type of thing. And if you're not their cup of tea, they just might have a problem with it. But a female approaching a female, most females are like totally not on guard about your intentions. They just figure, oh, I mean, even if it's something as simple as, and I get this, like, when I go to Walmart or something and I have my nails done, when somebody says, "I love your nails," it's a simple, quick comment. They're not saying you're a beautiful person. They're saying your nails are really pretty, and that makes me feel good about my nails. I'm like, hey, my nails look good. I can feel good about something. So there's always something. It doesn't matter what somebody looks like. There's always something you can compliment them on. Even if, like say they've done their eyeshadow real well, just say, or their makeup is like perfect. You know, just say, "I wish I could do my makeup like that. Yours looks great." You know, it's not that hard. And I guess guys giving guys compliments wouldn't go over too well either. I guess only girls can really get away with it, complimenting girls. But let's face it, women need more compliments than guys do. Like, if you grab a guy's ass, you've just complimented him. you know, if you reach, never mind. Um, but women, we're very mental, as far as crazy, and then just, we're thinkers. We think things. So, you know, those little things really help us get through the day. I mean, even if, like I said, it's that, or, oh, those sandals you're wearing are so cute. Where'd you get them? It takes like 2 seconds to do it. And we need to do more of that. I mean, I guess with the guys would have to say, dude, that all black Dodge Ram is clutch. I love that guy. You might just compliment them on their car, or their hat if they're wearing a hat. Where'd you get that hat, dude? Provided it doesn't say like Bass Pro Shop, But, you can compliment things like that with a guy, And of course, you can't say, dude, your girlfriend is hot. Now, some guys might get off on that. Some guys might be noticing dudes looking and they might be okay with it. Some dudes might come up and kick your ass. Depends on the dude. Which I don't understand it, I mean, saying your girlfriend's hot. It's like he's not grabbing her butt, he's just saying he appreciates what you have. He recognizes that it's yours. He's not over there trying to mac on her. So I guess it's that testosterone. I just don't know anything about that. So anyway, compliment somebody, whether it's your sister, your mom, your kid, find something you like, compliment them. If you work with the public, compliment people. It costs you nothing and it can make such a big difference to them. So, have a good night. I have no clue what I had started this thing about. Extra med brain. Have a good night.